Hi, my name's Todd, and today I am going to share with you the biggest weapon in the Chinese arsenal. It's one character. So hold on, and you're going to learn a lot. With all of the different perspectives and opinions that are floating around the internet and being expressed in the news these days, it's really interesting being a person who has spent over 40 years interacting with the Chinese culture, language, and people to recognize that there's so much ignorance, just simply put, towards the country, the people, the language, the culture of China. And that includes Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China, because they are all the same culture. They are all speaking the same languages, and there are families that are living between those three regions. And I have a lot of friends whose families are divided between those three regions. It's not uncommon. But the thing that is very interesting about how we view China is that we're viewing China from this perspective of an apple. And we can't judge oranges when we're looking at it as an apple. We misinterpret, we misconstrue, and we don't understand the things that we don't understand, and that's the most dangerous, is when we don't know what we don't know. And when we're not open to learning and we're not open to listening, then that only exacerbates the problem and the challenge. I have been told all sorts of things by people who have absolutely no inkling whatsoever as to what they're talking about or how ignorant they are. And you know, that's pretty scary. If we live in a country where ignorance abounds to the point that we think we're so smart, but yet we don't understand the simplicities and the core wisdom of the best way to go about achieving success. So when I said it's one character, the weapon in the arsenal of the Chinese is one character. And that character spans Taiwan, Hong Kong, and mainland China. And it also spans in the mindset of any Chinese person, or any person actually, who has a character in their heads and their hearts, and that's the character Zhong, and I'll put it right here. And Zhong means a few things, but it's best known as meaning central, center, middle, and also it means yin-yang, because it represents the idea of two pieces divided, but yet there's balance between those two pieces. And so that is the character for China. Zhong, Zhongguo, the country of the middle, okay, so we call it the Middle Kingdom, the country in the center. But actually it's the country of yin-yang because it's balanced between the yin and the yang and the forces and how they move and those movements and the balance that comes through, working through and allowing things to happen in ways that is so foreign to us as Westerners, because our worldview is very black and white. We see things as either good or bad, but we don't recognize that good is not existing without bad, and bad can't exist without good. So there's so many things that go to the depth and the profundity of understanding life that other cultures and other philosophies may have a different perspective on. But that's not to say that it's wrong, but that is to say that there's a lot there that we can learn from. And so that goes back to Confucius's one saying, 三人行必有我师. When I am amongst others, they are my teacher. So when we're open to learning, we can learn. When we're not open to learning, we just continue going, spiraling into the well. 井底之蛙, the frog at the bottom of the well. The turtle comes over to the edge and he says, "Hey frog, come out here, that's beautiful. There's a big, beautiful blue sky. There's rivers, there's grass, there's all sorts of wonderful things." And the frog says, Oh no, I don't want to. I'm happy here. I look up out of the well and I see the blue sky and I see the clouds and I have a lily pad down here and I have a rock and I have mud and I'm happy. So what is the one character that is the biggest weapon in the arsenal of Chinese? It's the character Ren. And that character, which I've put right here, is a character that's made up of three separate elements. The one element is a knife on top. Below the knife is the character for heart. So what we have here is we have a knife that's cutting into the heart. And over on the top part here you can see a drip. And that's a drip of blood. A drop of blood. The blood is dripping off of the knife. Ren. And that is one of the most profound core concepts within the Chinese culture, is to be able to persevere pain, persevere anguish, persevere difficulties in order to succeed. And that's something that if you have that zhong, the Chinese character, in your heart or in your head, that you understand, because it's a part of who you are. It's a part of your culture. The Chinese people have the ability to put up with challenges and difficulties and bitterness, and they know that they need to push forward. It's a part of who they are. So they strive to push forward. They strive to be successful. They strive to be the best that they can be. And when I was living in China and I was learning these things from my friends, it was for me a shot in the arm, a realization of how much time I've wasted, how much complaining, how much finger pointing, what a bad attitude I've had. When I look around me and I see all of my friends and the people around me who are living their days and their lives are much more difficult than mine, maybe in many ways they didn't have half of what I had, but yet they were pushing forward, they were finding a way to be successful, and they were supporting and helping each other. And that's a very different expression of a society than the society that I'm seeing right now, where we're pointing fingers, we're finding fault, we're complaining. And that's something the Chinese don't do very often because they know how to ren, they know how to persevere. They recognize that these are all parts of life. These are all aspects of the difficulties of life. What is it we say that God never promised you a rose garden? And roses have thorns. But we don't want to see the reality. We think that we deserve everything to be the way we want it to be, the way we think it should be. The entitlement of the American society. And it's something that doesn't fare well when we try and interact with people from other cultures, people who speak other languages. In the 1920s, our culture, our country forbade people from speaking German, which also included other languages. And ever since that point in time, we have looked down on other languages, looked down on other cultures, and we've seen them as an enemy. And we always need to have our enemy. And so how do we find our enemy? By pointing fingers, by claiming things that we don't know, that's just hearsay, by saying something and creating this wave of negativity throughout the whole country. It's amazing what followers we are. We're not thinkers, we're followers. When we can think, then we can see. And if we can learn to ren, if we can learn to persevere and push through the difficulties without complaining, without finding fault, but actually looking for ways to bridge differences, to mend relationships, would we not just be bringing peace to the face of the earth? But maybe there's no financial gain. That's something that we need to look at. Which is of more value? Leaving this earth knowing that we've done something good for mankind, or leaving the earth knowing that all we've strived for is success, money, pleasure, and all of the things that are impermanent and pass. So I hope you enjoyed that. There was something in there, a gem of wisdom and knowledge, a little bit of enlightenment, something. And I hope you have a great day.